Hello and welcome everyone to this long-awaited webinar with Cambium Networks, the power of converged wireless and wired networks. Today's webinar is focused on the future of connectivity through the latest innovation in fiber optics technology, the Combo PON OLT. We're thrilled to have you join us today as we explore how this cutting-edge solution from Cambium Networks is poised to revolutionize the industry. They have been leaders in the wireless industry with their game-changing point-to-point and multipoint solution. Now they're crossing over into the fiber market with a combo PON solution. In today's rapidly advancing digital landscape, the demand for faster and more reliable internet connectivity has never been greater. With the increasing adoption of cloud services, video streaming, IoT devices, and virtual collaboration, network infrastructure has become the backbone of modern society. Fiber optics technology, with its unparalleled data transmission capabilities, has proven to be the driving force behind this digital revolution. Today, we're joined by Sakid Ahmed, Dmitry Moisev, and Joshaven Potter with Cambium Networks. They will shed some light on the features and benefits of their new Combo PON solution, highlighting how it addresses the evolving needs of service providers with enhanced data rates to seamless integration with existing network infrastructures to the ease of management with cnMaestro. Please submit all of your questions for review after the presentation. We will also be recording and sharing today's webinar. So let's get started. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jonathan, for the opportunity to present here, and good morning to everyone that have joined this webinar. As Jonathan introduced us, this is Sakid Ahmed speaking from the Cambium side. Along with me, we have Dmitry Moisev and Joshaven Potter, who some of you may already know, but that's sort of the Cambium team on the call today. We're going to make this presentation a bit dynamic. The goal is to just not only talk about the product solution we're offering to the marketplace, what we're doing different about it, but I have also asked Dmitry to sort of do a demo of our OLT, so you guys can take a look at the, how we're designing the interfaces and things like that, and a few tools that we're building up as well. Again, as Jonathan suggested, please bring the questions. I'm sure there's going to be lots of interesting questions and discussion topics. We're very open and transparent company, and we'll be, hopefully we can answer the questions you bring to the table. So before we get into the technical details of what we're building and what we're positioning here, I wanted to provide a little context in the slide deck in terms of why we've gone about doing this fiber stuff. So first and foremost, many of you know, and what Jonathan also said is we've been doing wireless for a long time. We've gone into enterprise Wi-Fi and whatnot, and obviously the question in a lot of people's mind is, why the heck are you doing fiber, Cambium? Well, the fundamental reason obviously is you guys, our customers, many of our customers who started with Cambium, maybe as far back as Canopy, then EPMP, and then continuing with the Cambium side, a lot of you are having to do fiber, right? Whether it's for long-term investment, whether it's to protect your business, whether it's the threat of overbuild of fiber networks with government dollars. Long story short, you have to do fiber, or you're already starting to do it. And as the vendor that's been offering you wireless for all this time, we felt that we had something to offer to make that transition easier and potentially continue managing a hybrid wireless fiber network. And us being a wireless pioneer in some shape or form, what you see today may be our introductory fiber offer, but make no mistake that we are constantly evolving and thinking how to bring the wireless fiber convergence story even stronger, such as with things like integrating, OLTs into our wireless products and making that transition a lot easier, ONT on a stick and things like that. So that's sort of the gist of it. As we researched the market before we did this, we don't do this completely blindly. We tried to extract a bit of the challenges that we heard from our customer base. And with the utmost respect for the incumbent players that have been selling fiber for much longer, one of the things we concluded was that the overall relationship, the purchasing, the licensing, the support, product availability, a lot of that tends to be a bit more complex from the fiber players you do business with today. We are 100% a channel-driven company, very transparent about product availability, where to buy from, your favorite salesperson at ISP Supplies, etc. But we're really trying to simplify things. We don't require 5 different meetings to get access to data sheets. We don't need 20 different sales guys calling you. We have a smaller team, a few names that you can work with all your Cambium engagement, and you have direct access to Cambium headquarters at any given time, ability to influence roadmap, give us feedback to the community. We listen. We have a very nurturing relationship with our customers, and that's what we want to build on. The fiber would be no different. So this is not about doing an OLT and getting more throughput out of it because of some proprietary spin, but presenting the solution in the same way we have our wireless. The cost of fiber, as we talk to customers, we learned that your outside plant is going to be the biggest expense. Having said that, everybody pays attention to what you spend on OLTs, ONTs, and things like that. And on that front, based on what we have heard from you, our customers, is that it's one thing to look at a OLT to OLT price or an ONT to ONT price, but it's another thing to ask questions about support contracts, licensing, or pay-as-you-grow models, or per ONT licensing, and all of that. What you get from that, right? And what we've attempted to do is simplify that as well. And our hope is that as you put apples to apples beyond the OLT and start looking at support costs and other licensing costs, that our total cost of ownership is going to be significantly clearer and easier to understand. So you know that 2 years from now, as you grow, you don't need to go back to your Excel and figure out what you're going to pay next. It's the same number that we quoted you on day one. So that's another goal of ours. Last but not least, and probably one of the more important aspects, is that we took a page from the way we've done wireless, right? I know a lot of people don't like the user interface we've done, and it's outdated in some of our product line. But simplicity was sort of the foundation for building our fiber solution. We are familiar with things like netconf and yang and all of that, the machine-to-machine language and how configuration is done. Our goal has been from day one to simplify the heck out of it. So an ONT out of the box will connect to an OLT, and you're able to pass data. You don't need certified engineers to be on site or have training classes that you have to take to get that working. So everything from zero-touch onboarding, configuration options, various ways without getting super complex. That's sort of the key principle of ours. And Dmitry will showcase some of that along with some screen captures. And last but not least, this, if you are a Cambium shop, we're hoping that this is something that's valuable to you, is the ability to manage your wireless and fiber from cnMaestro. So single pane of glass, you click away from fiber and look at your 450 or EPMP or cnWave or licensed microwave network. And then on the same instance, you're able to go drill into the various aspects of your fiber network. So that cnMaestro management for both fiber and wireless is also something we stand behind strongly. So this is sort of how our thought process has been. And the next slide, I'll start talking a little bit deeper about the products. And I will also touch a little bit on roadmap, what we're thinking, and the requests from you as to what we should be doing. All of that is sort of baked in how we look at things. So first and foremost, our 2 OLTs that we're offering are both are 1 rack unit, 8-port and 16-port OLTs. These are what I would call carrier-grade hardware. Software is where we've differentiated here, especially on the management side and interface side and the simplicity aspect we talked about. These are hardened OLTs, so you can put them in outdoor cabinets. They have AC/DC power options as well as various uplink options in terms of connecting to the uplink feed. We are doing just the 8 and 16 port for now. Having said that, one of the asks we have seen is where you may be looking at lower density options when you're passing far fewer homes. So stay tuned. We're paying attention to that request, and there will be something pretty innovative coming down the pipe that will allow you to scale from one port to multiple ports in an economical manner. So that will help you with your low density type options. But beyond that, we are not looking at anything beyond 16 port today, or any type of chassis blade-based solution that requires, control cards, interface cards for networking side, all of that other accessories. Transceivers, since they are on the picture here, I'll touch on that a little bit. We have a GPON, XGS, and Combo PON transceiver. My suspicion is many on the call already understand this stuff very well. But again, the beauty of a Combo PON solution is the ability to GPON and XGS-PON over the same fiber strand. It works in conjunction with the Combo PON transceiver as well as the OLT itself. So you can mix and match. And that certainly helps with the deployment flexibility model. Today, from a Cambium perspective, we are asking that both uplink and downlink transceivers are from Cambium. This is mostly to avoid interoperability issues, which happens, no ifs and buts about it. But as we move forward, our goal will be to have a set of uplink transceivers that we certify or test or support that you can potentially source yourself, because we believe you already have choice vendors. We just need to get through our interoperability and make sure there's no gotchas. On the downlink side, the GPON and XGS-PON transceivers are moving towards commoditization, especially GPON's already available. The Combo PON is a little bit more limited. So at this stage, those downlink transceivers are going to be Cambium locked. Down the road, as more become available and we work out any interoperability issues, again, that's another area we may be allowing or supporting you guys to buy your own. We're not trying to force our accessories as part of the solution, but we just want to avoid those headaches of third-party systems not working properly. On the ONT front, we're starting off with 4 different SKUs, 2 that have already started shipping. Simple single-family unit that are a GPON only ONT with a gigabit Ethernet and a 2.5 gig XGS-PON, 2.5 gig Ethernet XGS-PON indoor ONT. Both of these are DC power supply powered. Pretty simple to see. They're pretty standard product with dying gasp features. And of course, the software is where we try to differentiate on this front. A little bit on where we are going in terms of roadmap is that we are looking and started the program to do a 10 gig Ethernet and XGS-PON. The idea behind that is obviously catering to potential enterprise customers or situations where you may want to check the box that you have 10 gig support. In this situation where competition may be saying they have 10 gig. So that's sort of the path in terms of the indoor ONT. Along with that, we're also going to be doing a indoor ONT with 4-port Ethernet with PoE out and voice. Some ask the question, what's with the PoE out? But that's really catering to situations where you may be providing fiber to a multiple dwelling unit. Where it may sit in a media cabinet or in the closet, and you may have a PS4 and all of that plugged into the ONT, as well as power potentially a Cambium enterprise Wi-Fi that's PoE powered. So a few different use cases. I believe Jonathan will pose the question later down the road about integrated Wi-Fi. I'll share our thought process around that in a few minutes. That's sort of the story on the OLT and the indoor ONT. The products that are about to show up in the Q3 timeframe is our outdoor ONTs. We have a GPON outdoor ONT with a gigabit Ethernet and an XGS-PON outdoor ONT with 2.5 gig Ethernet. We believe the outdoor ONTs are a relatively unique solution. Yes, other vendors do offer that, but when you take a look at our design, you'll feel or see the reuse of our experience doing radio products. And one of the key differentiation here is that it is a PoE powered outdoor ONT. And what that allows you to do is the transition from wireless to fiber in the situation that you have a ePMP Ubiquiti 450 SM on a rooftop. You've already got the power brick inside the house, the cable's coming out. Voila, put the outdoor ONT in there and power it via power over Ethernet. And that's how we're looking at it. On the outdoor ONT, we're not thinking of any new products beyond what we're offering, but as always, we're very keen to hear feedback and input as to how we can make it better or meet other use cases. From a hardware perspective, this is sort of the presentation in terms of what we're offering. A visual of how all this comes together, cnMaestro being sort of the management, but obviously we will have other management options that we'll talk about. I also do highlight that along with our fiber, we do have an optional Cambium quality of experience solution, which is getting a lot of good press and making big impacts to customers' networks. And while we're here talking about fiber networks, I think the common knowledge is that your fiber is only as good as your wireless inside the house. So our QoE solution, we believe, can really, really help with indoor Wi-Fi issues, whether it's improving video streaming or allowing it to see visibility into what's happening inside the Wi-Fi network, managing congestion with automatic congestion detection, allowing speed test detection, bursting, lots of traffic shaping options. All of that can make a big impact for the indoor Wi-Fi situation. And the best part about this is completely hardware agnostic. So it doesn't matter whether you are doing TP-Link Wi-Fi or Eero Mesh or Cambium Wi-Fi and whatnot. But again, it's an optional product, but I just wanted to highlight that this does give a pretty strong tool in the toolbox in terms of a fiber network deployment. Okay, with that, I'm actually going to allow have the voice to Joshaven. Josh, if you want to kind of talk through what are the available options for our Cambium fiber management and kind of elaborate on that, and then we'll switch over to Dmitry to do a showcase as well. So take it away, Josh.
Excellent, thank you. So there's 4 realms here for management. There's the cnMaestro management. It covers everything that's required. It's the only management that you, if you choose to use cnMaestro, it's the only thing you have to use. You don't have to get into the other stuff. So that's the top left. It's really designed around understanding what's going on with your network. You can see where your problems are at. There's, we've been working hard on some alerts and different kind of analytics that can really help point to the problem. And this is kind of a like tier 2 sort of tech support. It really does help identify where the problems are and help you manage your configurations in bulk. So been working hard on that. The Cambium Fiber GUI is mostly for like initial configuration, and Dmitry's going to go over that in detail here, I believe, in a few minutes. The CLI on the bottom left there is a switch-like syntax. If you are comfortable with anything like a Dell or a Cisco, this will feel native to you. It's basically, it makes the fiber solution work just like a switch with one extra major addition, and that is the management of the customers. So you can have like the service profile is what we call it in the CLI. And that allows you to manage speeds and the different stuff that usually isn't on a switch. So other than that, it's exactly like a switch. And full management is available via CLI, but we do believe that the cnMaestro is going to be the preferred option. And then again, we have a full open API, and we've approached this whole process from an open perspective. We don't want to tie anybody's hands. We want to maximize the ability of people to be successful with their network. And with that, I can hand it off to Dmitry, unless.
Yeah, maybe a little bit on the some of the dashboard, if you want to touch on that from a Maestro perspective.
Okay, so here is the cnMaestro slide here. It's above the highlighted one. I want to start, I don't have a screenshot for it, but we have this virtual stack concept. So one of your like central offices would have a couple rack units of these and serve a large number of customers in a town. you can share the configuration just like cnMaestro allows with other systems. And then you can have overrides that work per device, like for management IP or something like that. So it gives you the ability to take your provisioned customers and apply it to a whole group of OLTs. And that way, if for some reason you have to move the fiber connection to a different OLT, you don't have to re-provision everything. You've got that shared configuration. This screen here is a drill down from that virtual stack into an individual OLT, and you can see all of the analytics of the system. For example, there's a signal level there. You can see how many subscribers are at each signal level, and you could click on those and go see each one of those subscriber devices and sort them by signal level and maybe fix some weak signals or something. You can drill down by port, which is our next slide here. And this gives you analytics of that set of customers that are sharing that one port. And again, it's very much like the overall OLT. Go ahead and go to the next slide. You can click and drill down into an individual subscriber and see their ONU health and see the details. And then if you've got managed Wi-Fi or other devices inside the customer's network, you can drill down further. One other slide here is for looking at the CLI. And so this example has a VLAN 50 for management. It puts a service profile on VLAN 100, and it provisions an OLT. And as you can see on the right, it's pretty simple. You create a service profile for management. You can give it priority levels, description. You can give it a rate limit. And also there's one there for the VLAN 100, and that's like a template. Then at the bottom there, you can provide the ONU with the serial number. You can give it an interface for management, which in this case is VLAN 50. Of course, any number you want to use in the VLAN options. And then this is applying a residential 1 gig service profile to the Ethernet interface. So we tried to make it really simple, really easy to work with, and kind of compact. Because you can use this template, you can apply a whole set of QoS profiles and rate limits and a lot of different settings into a service profile and make it very reusable. So if you do choose to use the CLI, we did put a lot of time into making it simple.
Oops, sorry. I'll come back to that. All right, Dima, I'm going to switch over to you as a presenter. Jonathan, if you don't mind giving Dmitry the floor, so he can kind of give us a view of the OLT.
Sounds good. Dmitry, you're another presenter.
Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. So let me start sharing my screen. Show my screen. Okay. So let me start with the OLT interface. And as Sakid mentioned, we try to create everything as simple as it can be. So the idea is pretty much the same. If you're wireless ISP, you get used to the ePMP, for example, and out of the box, when you get the AP, you get the SM out of the box, they will connect to each other without any special pre-configuration with the default settings. So we had the same the same idea here with the OLT and ONT. So when you get it out of the box, you get the ONT out of the box. They will, by default, with the auto onboarding, they will connect and they will pass data. So that's the very basic thing that we are coming up with, and it gives you the opportunity to play with the system without any special prior knowledge of the fiber, and start serving customers right away without special training and special knowledge about fiber. So let me go through the interface. This is the web interface. As Josh mentioned, we do have the CLI interface as well. And as the other vendor and kind of a standard in the fiber world, will also support netconf and yang. So netconf and yang are also supported. But let me guide you through the web interface. So the menu structure, it's kind of copies that what we have on the ePMP side. So here we have the network configuration. This is mostly for the management interface. So you can set up the management IP address if it is going from the static configuration, or you can use the DHCP as I'm doing right now. So you can set up the management VLAN. There are a bunch of the system level configurations like the device name, how you would like the web interface to work, if it is HTTPS, the SSH access, if it is enabled, disabled, the netconf interface. It is disabled by default, but if you are having some third-party system that is using netconf, you can use netconf interface as well to manage the device and configure. So the account management, that's the admin, username, admin credentials, so you can change the password. cnMaestro, again, the same idea as on all other Cambium devices. We have the zero-touch onboarding, so you don't necessarily have to configure anything here. But if you use the cnMaestro on-premise, you can put the cnMaestro URL here, your Cambium ID onboarding key here. Then we have the NTP, so you can set up the timing services, so the time will be synchronized on the device. So all the logs and everything in the web interface, it will show the correct timing. Now going to the onboarding part. So onboarding is basically the how your ONTs will be connected and served by the OLT. It is kind of simplified in the UI. So in this UI interface, we have a single VLAN for all the single data VLAN for all the subscribers. So they will get into the same VLAN with the VLAN 200. I have the DHCP option 82 enabled here with the circuit ID as an OLT serial number and the remote ID as ONU serial number. So option 82 can be used on your DHCP server to authenticate the specific clients and to understand where they are coming from which OLT and behind which port, etc. So then we have the whitelist of the ONTs. So by default, it will connect all Cambium ONTs by default. But if you would like to create a whitelist of a specific serial numbers of the ONTs that you would like to connect, you can use this whitelist and add some serial numbers here. Sorry. Here we go. So then we have this PON to NNI mapping table. So NNI is basically the uplink port. And the PON is the PON port. So this is the mapping between the downlink PON ports and the uplink Ethernet ports. So right now, all 16 ports that I have on this specific OLT will be switched to the port number 3, the port 3 of the uplink. So this is the configuration. So going to the monitor, let's go to the ONT first. You can see the list. It's kind of similar to what you see on the ePMP, for example, as a list of connected subscribers. So this is the list of connected ONTs. So you can see the serial number of the ONT. You can see the type of this. And again, it is a combo PON. So we have the GPON. And we have xgs-pon ONTs. You can see the signal levels, and you can see the transmit power levels. You can see the state, and if you click on a specific one, you can get even more details, different counters, like downlink bytes, the bit error rates, and etc. So you can get different information about specific ONT. Going to the performance, you can get, again, some statistics about the management interface. So you can see the IP address of my device, the MAC address. Then you can see the uplink transceivers. So I have two different uplink transceivers plugged in my OLT. Then you can see that I have a bunch of different third-party downlink transceivers as well. If you click on a specific port, you can see the throughput chart. Again, that's my lab setup, so I don't have any traffic going on here, so it's 0. But if you have like a live system, you will see the throughput chart here on the amount of data passed through this specific port. And the same applies to the uplink interfaces. So if you go to the uplink interface, you can see the same throughput chart through the uplink interface. So that's pretty much it regarding the monitor part. So going to tools, obviously we do have the software upgrades, and well, we will get a couple software updates. We will try to make it as often as we can, introducing new features and addressing issues if there are any. So again, please go to our support site to report any either missing features or any issues you find. And speaking of the reporting issues, as you know from ePMP experience, we have this technical support file thing. So if you are reporting any issue or telling us something about the device, please grab this technical support file, download it, and send it or attach it to the support ticket. So it will be way easier for us to troubleshoot if there are any issues and come back to you and help you to resolve it eventually. So I mentioned that there is a netconf under the hood. So we do have this netconf configuration. It is XML-based configuration. So you can see the running netconf config here. And if you would like to, you can edit it here and then apply it through this netconf editor as well. And the connectivity tools, kind of a standard thing, ping and trace route. So you can do the connectivity troubleshooting with the ping and trace route. So this is the OLT interface in a gist of it. Any questions so far we have from the audience?
Yeah, I don't think we can see the questions. I think Jonathan's going to read out the questions and we'll answer them. But I think, thank you, Dmitry. I think this was really good. And hopefully, is there anything else you wanted to show? Is that the ONT?
Yeah, let me quickly show you the cnMaestro. Unfortunately, the device is offline right now. But again, I can show you at least the stuff that makes sense. So the cnMaestro integration, it is going to the as all the other devices, it will show up in the tree view on the left. So this is the dashboard of the OLT. It shows you the amount of, right now it's offline, but when it was connected, there were 2 ONTs connected to this. So you can see the Ethernet throughput, aggregated Ethernet throughput. You can see aggregated downlink throughput through the PON network. There is a port status representing the front panel of the OLT. So you can see that there was some transceiver plugged in into the port number 3, and then there was a combo transceiver plugged in into the port number 1 on the PON side, on the ODM side. So you can see the ONUs by the signal level, so you can cross-check if they're if they are too hot or the RSSI is too low for those. Then you can see the number of ONUs over the time. The port health, again, right now it's offline, but when it is online, you can see the port health and the downlink utilization graphs, the overall throughput chart, kind of standard things. So that's the dashboard, and if you go here to the ONU list, there is a list of all the ONUs connected. So right now it's down, but yeah, you can see the serial number, the MAC address, the Ethernet status, and the signal levels from these specific ONTs. And one of the troubleshooting things that you might probably find useful is just to sort it from the lowest signal level to the highest signal level and see which are the worst ONTs and if it is causing any issues. Because based on our current experience with the fiber, the majority of issues are caused by the low signal levels. So saying that, Sakid, I think that's pretty much it what I had to show.
Great. Thank you very much. With that in mind, Jonathan, are you asking to switch my screen? Okay, I think we're done with the presentation. If you want to start talking.
Excellent presentation. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for going over the management and all the details of the gear here. We actually had a few good questions come in during the presentation, and we've also been collecting some questions online to cover today. Also a couple calls with customers, so kind of been compiling them. So we'll cover as many as we can, time permitting. We already covered a few of them, but let's recap them anyways. One of the questions that came in is, has Cambium tested interoperability with any other OLT ONT manufacturers?
Right. So the question, let me just first state this, that we are looking to be interoperable. We're not looking to do a closed system. And the objective behind that is we want to support the brownfield deployment. If you've already started fiber, you've already got 50, 100, 200 homes with a particular vendor's ONT, the last thing we want you to do is to have to rip and replace those. So at a bare minimum, we want to make sure that our OLT is able to talk to third-party ONTs and pass data. So with that in mind, we've set up a lab to do interoperability testing. The one caveat that I will mention is that interoperability can be a treacherous slope in the sense that we may take version X of software from a third-party ONT, test interoperability. Tomorrow you go and upgrade it to version Y, interoperability breaks. And that's a big task on us to continuously to stay on top of that. So it is going to be a bit case-by-case basis. But as of this moment, we do have Ubiquity ONTs talking to our OLT and passing data. The single-family units, not the routers. And then we have other brands also in the lab that we're expecting to do interoperability with. Again, the idea is that it to support brownfield type deployments, so you don't have to rip and replace. So that's the strategy and that's the plan.
Awesome, thank you. Another question is, will Cambium be releasing an indoor GPON or XGS-PON ONT that also has Wi-Fi?
Right. So those are known as the home gateway units. GPON indoor Wi-Fi. The answer is no. It makes no sense to go do a GPON one. XGS-PON plus indoor Wi-Fi. Yes, we do have a plan to do that. The question we're evaluating is whether that makes sense to do with Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 7. We do believe that Wi-Fi 7 is around the corner and is going to show up in the residential market and potentially provide some good performance and coverage type scenarios, and it would make most sense to do Wi-Fi 7. Having said that, the short answer is we absolutely are looking at a home gateway unit with built-in Wi-Fi.
Good deal. Another question is, how does the cost of the Cambium solution compare with other vendors in the market?
Right. So if you look at the most important thing that we want to convey to everyone is that please take a look at the total cost of ownership and make sure you ask yourself all the questions about support, licensing, and mandatory fees, and add all of that up and then look at side-by-side comparison. We believe our ONTs are very price competitive. We're not here to compete against Chinese GPON ONTs that sell for $30. I think a lot of people here are smart enough not to go down that path. But in general, our ONTs are competitive. I think our outdoor ONTs bring interesting value to the table at a very competitive price. Our OLTs are competitive at a list price level. Keep in mind that we are always ready to engage with you on particular deployment and deals and work with you in looking at the overall value. How many ONTs are you purchasing? What you're doing with how many OLTs? We can work with you. But we do feel we're competitive, but at the same time, we have room to counter whatever you're experiencing and look at the whole thing as a total cost of ownership.
Thank you for that. This next question has already been partially answered, but I figured I'd bring it up so that we could dive a little deeper on it. I have an existing Ubiquiti GPON network, and I would like to upgrade to the Cambium Combo PON solution. Can I switch my OLT over to Cambium and keep using my already deployed Ubiquiti ONTs?
Yes, the answer is yes. We will support them.
Perfect. And how difficult is it to set up? You did explain how it's more of a plug and play type of setup, but could you elaborate on that a little more?
Oh, that is exactly it. The goal is to make setup very, very easy. It is truly plug and play. You plug in the ONT and it's working. And then, of course, you can go do more advanced configuration. But our goal is that by default, we want to make the connectivity super easy. And that's been the principle of our design approach.
Excellent. And the last question here, I can actually answer myself. It says, who can I talk to if I have a fiber project opportunity? This would be my first deployment, and I have no idea where to start. The answer to that is ISP Supplies. We've been helping a lot of customers with fiber projects from beginning to end. All you have to do is send us an email or give us a call. Our email address is sales@ispsupplies.com. Let us know the details of the project. We'll get with a couple project design partners that we work with, and we'll go ahead and figure it all out for you and let you know exactly what it's going to take, what it's going to need, and we can even help you with a pre and post sale support with that. So, well, that's all the time that we have today. Thank you, gentlemen, for preparing those slides and for showing us how the entire solution works from beginning to end.
Jonathan, sorry for the interruption, but any questions from the audience on the chat that we need to talk through? Or you covered everything?
No, actually, that covered most of the questions that we received, actually. Most of the questions were regarding Ubiquiti interoperability, which we covered, as well as the cost. So now with this image that we have on the screen here, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about this. Cambium Networks has recently announced an introductory fiber offer. For a limited time, you can purchase the fiber product bundle at a pretty substantial discount. The bundle pretty much includes everything you need to get started. It includes one 8-port OLT with 2 power supplies, 2 downlink PON transceivers. You can choose either GPON, XGS, or Combo PON. You also get 30 indoor ONTs, which you can mix and match. You can do just GPON, XGS, or a combination of both. And it also includes 90 days of cnMaestro support. And at this time, you're able to purchase multiple starter kits at the discounted price. So it's a perfect time to test out this new solution as well as build out your new Cambium fiber network. So there's a link on the QR code on the screen. If you follow it, you can go ahead and sign up for more information or to try it out. Also, you can give us a call and we can help you out with that and help you out get started. Our number here is 855-947-7776, or you can shoot us an email at the sales@ispsupplies.com email address. We'll also be uploading a copy of today's webinar to our YouTube at youtube.com/ISP Supplies and share it on social media as well. So please make sure that you subscribe to us and you follow our social media channels as well. So thank you everybody for attending. Special thank you to Sakid, Dmitry, and Josh for putting together today's presentation, and for the rest of the Cambium team for their product development and continuous support always. So hope everybody has a great rest of your week. Until next time.